Hello, I'm Shapcott and today I'm in Madison, Wisconsin, and in this video I'm going to demonstrate how to play a punch shot. Let's start by defining what a punch shot is. So a punch shot is a low shot that you would use if you're trying to get the ball out from under trees, or if you're playing into really strong winds. Then a punch shot is going to keep the ball low. So instead of the ball kind of rising and getting caught up in either tree branches or wind, then the idea of a punch shot is that it's just staying low. And so the good news about playing a punch shot is that just by adjusting your setup position, then you can do most of the work. So if we start from impact and work backwards, then in order to keep the ball low, then our dynamic loft needs to be reduced. So I've got a 7-iron here, and so I'm going to just lean the shaft forward so that I reduce some of the dynamic loft on the club. Now, you might wonder, if I'm trying to reduce the loft of a 7-iron, why I might not just play the shot with a less lofty club to begin with. And the reason for that is that oftentimes we're trying to play a punch shot out of either longer grass, or the strike is really important. And so with this technique, we're going to increase the likelihood of making a clean strike on the ball, even if you're playing out of longer rough. So consider that when you're choosing your club. So bottom line is, we want to strike the ball with the club swinging downwards, which is going to deal off the club face. So with the club swinging downwards, that's going to help us cut into the back of the ball if it's in longer grass. And I'm going to set up in a way that's going to promote that impact. So I'm going to position the ball, instead of in the center of my feet, which I would do if I'm typically playing a 7-iron, I'm going to position it so it's back in my stance. I'm also going to just move some weight onto my front foot and just lean the shaft slightly forward. Okay, so this setup position here is going to increase the chances of it impact the club swinging downwards and de-lofting the club face. Now, as much as I can, as I'm making this swing, I want to try to keep my weight on my front foot. Now, again, I wouldn't be doing that if I were playing a regular shot, but in a punch shot I do want to try to keep the weight on the front leg, which means that as I'm making a swing, I'm not going to be able to swing the club back very far, because if I make a full backswing, then the weight's going to move off of that front foot. So I'm going to keep my backswing pretty abbreviated, and that's another good point for hitting a punch shot, because if I abbreviate my backswing, I'm not going to be able to generate as much club head speed as I normally would, which means that I'm not going to spin the ball so much, which also means that it's going to help me keep the ball lower after that initial launch that I'm going to get. And so weight forward, ball back, hands forward, and a shorter backswing, trying to keep the weight on this left side. And then I'm just going to let the club swing down and into the back of the ball. Okay, and that's going to help me get that nice launch. So let's have a go at that. So I'm going to take my setup position, I'm going to move the ball back in my stance, I'm going to lean the shaft forward slightly, I'm going to move my weight onto my left side, and I'm going to keep it there, which means I'm not going to be able to swing the club back very far. The club is then going to swing down into the back of the ball. And because this setup position means that I'm getting such a downward strike, you could see that my follow through was really abbreviated because the club is swinging down into the ground. And I really like that strike. I got it nice and clean, and the ball took off nice and low. So if I was trying to just punch it out of trees or keep it down under the wind, if I'm playing on a windy day or a links golf course, then that was going to be really helpful. Okay, it's a fun shot to practice. You can do most of the hard work just by your setup position. So give it a go. Experiment with keeping the launch angle low and the general spin rate low just with your technique. Please check out some of our other videos and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.